Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the 9 planets that are considered in Vedic astrology. So in the universe we have a number of planets which exist, but in Vedic astrology we only consider 9 planets. Two out of these 9 planets are actually not planets, these are shadow planets, Rahu and Ketu. These are just points in moon, which are also considered for astrological purposes. So in today's video, we are going to see all of these 9 planets, what each one of them signify, and how it would impact our horoscope chart and also our personal lives. So let's get started. So the 9 planets that are considered in Vedic astrology are the Sun, the Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, and Rahu and Ketu. So let's start off with discussing the Sun. So planet Sun is considered to be the center of the universe, and it's also considered to be the king among the planets. So, some of the qualities that Sun deals with are self confidence, leadership, and ego within oneself. So, whenever a person has a very strong Sun in their horoscope, usually these people will have really good leadership skills, they will have a lot of self confidence, and also they will have a certain level of ego associated with them. So, Sun also represents one's own father and the relationship that they have with the father. So, having a strong Sun will always indicate a person who has a very strong and influential father and has a lot of positive effects on their life. If there are any malefic effect on in the Sun, like Ketu sitting with the Sun, there could be some strain in the relationship with the father, or there could be some separation from their father. Also, Sun is said to be a very hot planet. Because of its hot nature, Sun usually burns out certain tendencies when it sits in a certain house, and also by its association to the to a certain planet. So, when Sun, for example, when Sun sits in the fourth house, there could be certain qualities of the maternal nourishment that could be burnt because of this. So we might have a lot of ego clashes with their mother, or a mother might itself be a very egoistic person, and because of that, she's not able to get along with a lot of people. Or your mother might have heart diseases. So, Sun usually burns out some of the qualities in the house it is sitting, and Sun also burns out some of the qualities of the planet that it is conjunct with. So this condition is called as combust. So combustion always affects the other planet and makes the other planet lose its characteristic. For example, if Venus is closely conjunct with Sun, then Venus is said to be combust, and there might be some properties of Venus that might be lost in our life. Say, for example, Venus is situated 2 degrees in conjunction with the planet Sun. So this is a clear case of Venus being combust. So in this case, a lot of qualities of Venus, such as pleasures in life, luxuries, or even marital life, might all take a hitting. So following very simple remedies can be helpful in appeasing the negative effects of the planet Sun and achieving a lot of positive effects from the Sun planet. So praying every day to the Sun god would be greatly beneficial for us. Performing Surya Namaskar every day in the morning should be helpful for our body as well as for our soul. We can also chant the Aditya Hridaya mantra every day, or at least on a Sunday. And fasting during Sundays also is very helpful to get the beneficial effects from the sun god. So the next planet that we are going to talk about is the planet Moon. So the planet Moon is said to be the queen among the planets. Planet Moon is considered to be a very feminine planet with a lot of water energy in it. So the planet Moon is said to control our mind and also our emotional maturity. So anyone who has a very strong planet Moon usually will be very emotionally mature, and they'll be able to handle things in a very mature fashion. Also, their mind would be very strong. So they are not, like, subject to any depression, or they do not have any issues related to the mind. Planet Moon also controls one's own mother, or one's own ability to mother somebody else. So, whenever you have a strong planet Moon in your horoscope, usually it indicates somebody who will have a very positive mother, or somebody who has a very strong mother in their life. And Moon in one's horoscope denotes one's uterus for the female. So basically, it's one's own mothering ability. So having a strong moon also indicates that the person would be very maternal in nature, and they also have a good ability of giving birth to kids. So moon is a very maternal planet, so it indicates all the maternal qualities, and having a very strong moon would usually indicate somebody with a very good maternal ability, and also very strong and a very emotional nature. So if moon is debilitated, or if moon is conjunct with a malefic planet like Ketu or Saturn, what usually happens is there is a certain level of hardness to the mind. So you're not very empathetic to other people. You probably might appear very cold, and you probably might appear very, like cutthroat. You're not very emotional, or you're not very, like very empathizing with people. Sometimes the moon can be very debilitated and very damaged to the point where people will become, very psychologically damaged. So all those can be seen by the sign of moon and the placement of moon. So all of these ill effects of the moon can be remediated by following very simple remedies. Praying to the moon god is very, very helpful. This can be done on every Mondays. You can also fast on Mondays. And in addition, we can also pray to Lord Shiva, who's also considered as Chandrasekhara, which means the ruler of the moon. So praying to Shiva or the planet moon on Mondays would be greatly beneficial for anybody who's suffering from the ill effects of moon. So the next planet that we are going to be talking about is Mars. Mars is considered to be a soldier amongst the planet. So Mars is the planet that controls our courage, aggression, and boldness in our horoscope. So people who have a very strong Mars usually are very courageous in nature. They have a lot of aggression in them. They also have a lot of drive and desire to achieve things. And Mars controls the blood in our body. So it controls the hemoglobin in our body. So usually people having a very strong Mars usually will have very, their blood count will be very high, and they usually have good energy. So people like this would never get tired. They would have a lot of energy to do things. A lot of passion will be there in them. So these are all some of the very positive things of having a very strong Mars. But Mars also has a slightly negative side to it. So, because Mars is such an aggressive planet, sometimes this leads into violence, or sometimes this leads into a lot of, harsh events. So, that is one of the negative sides of having a very strong Mars in your horoscope. When the Mars is debilitated, usually what happens is, there might be some issues with your blood. There can also be some issues with your energy. There can be a lack of courage, lack of desire, and also, you probably might not be that driven as some of the other individuals who have a very strong Mars. But either ways, the Mars could be pacified, or the positive effects could be maximized by doing some remedial measures for Mars. You can actually pray on every Tuesdays to Lord Kartikeya or the planet Mars, and that should help out in alleviating any issues that you have with Mars. Either if you're a Manglik, or either if you have any issues with your blood or any anger issues, all of this could be mitigated by doing these remedial measures for Mars. Mercury. So the planet Mercury is called as a minister in astrology. So the planet Mercury is mainly indicative of one's own ability to do business. So in astrology, Mercury controls your communication skills and your intellect, and it also controls your ability to do business well. So basically, having a strong Mercury gives you very strong communication skills, where you're able to negotiate deals, where you're able to convince people, and where you have that very business minded thinking. So these are all controlled by the planet Mercury. So Mercury is a very it's a very impactful planet for conducting business. So Mercury is indicated by the color green. So this is why you would see in a lot of countries, or even financial organizations, they use the color green a lot. Even the dollar in USA is made out of green color. So money is usually indicated by Mercury. Although wealth is indicated by Venus, and Jupiter is indicating of finance, the money itself and the money making abilities is indicated by Mercury. So when people have a weak or debilitated or afflicted Mercury, what happens is there might be some challenges in their intellect. People might also have difficulties in communication. They might not have that kind of critical business thinking. So all of this would be impacted if Mercury is being afflicted, or if there is any strong aspect that is coming from negative planets. So if you want to improve Mercury, some remedies that you could do is you can chant the Mercury Beach mantra every Wednesday, and based on your horoscope, either you can wear green color and an emerald in your little finger, or you can donate green colored pulses and vegetables, so you can alleviate the negative impact of Mercury. So this needs to be analyzed and looked up on your horoscope to kind of like see what can be done, whether you can give out Mercury related things or you can wear more of Mercury related things if it's positively placed in your horoscope. So doing these remedial measures would greatly help you to enhance the positive effects of Mercury and also mitigate any ill effects that is coming from a debilitated or afflicted Mercury. So the next planet that we are going to be talking about is called as Jupiter. So Jupiter is considered to be the guru amongst the planets in astrology. So Jupiter is considered to be the single most important planet after Saturn. So Jupiter is a slow moving planet, and it takes around 1 year to move from one sign to another. Jupiter is considered to be the most beneficial planet in astrology. Jupiter is considered to be very significant because it impacts a lot of areas in our life. Jupiter is a Karaka for childbirth. Jupiter is a Karaka for finances. Jupiter is an indicator of husband for women. Jupiter is also your indication of luck. Jupiter also indicates wisdom. Jupiter indicates your married life, prosperity. So Jupiter has an impact on many major aspects of our life, which is why it is considered to be such an important planet in astrology. So having a positive Jupiter or a strong Jupiter alone can help or remediate a lot of ill effects in our life. Um, the Jupiter aspect is said to be more powerful than where Jupiter is sitting. So, having a strong Jupiter aspect can alleviate any serious issues that we are having in the horoscope. Jupiter is also said to be an expansive planet, meaning it expands the sign in which it is sitting in. It also expands the sign or the functionality of the sign Jupiter is aspecting. So Jupiter has three aspects. So Jupiter aspects 5, 7, and 9 places from itself. So any planet that is getting Jupiter's aspect or any house that is getting Jupiter aspect will all be benefited by this positive effect. Jupiter, because it's an expansive planet, a lot of times when like Jupiter is in conjunction with another planet, it expands the qualities of that planet also. For example, if Jupiter is sitting in conjunction with the Venus, what happens is like it expands the qualities of Venus. So it expands your beauty, it expands your ability to be romantic with others, it expands your married life quality. So all of this is the nature of Jupiter. So the color associated with the planet Jupiter is the color yellow. Yellow is also associated with prosperity in Hindu religion. So anytime you start a work, we always apply a little bit of haldi to bring in the luck that we are getting from Jupiter. If you have any affiliated Jupiter or a debilitated Jupiter where Jupiter is in Capricorn, what might happen is the person might lack some wisdom, or they are not having that much of a spiritual belief, or luck might be a little bit harder to get to them. So these are some of the effects that will happen if there is any debilitation or any malefic effect for Jupiter. So Jupiter can be easily pacified if there is a fast kept on every Thursdays for Brihaspati or Guru. Or you can also be, like very good to some of the teachers or gurus in your own life to negate any ill effects that you're having from Jupiter. Also, you can wear more of yellow color or donate yellow color based on Jupiter's planetary placement in your own horoscope. So, donating or wearing more of yellow color should be determined based on what are the functional qualities of Jupiter for your own horoscope. But these are some of the remedies that we can follow to negate any ill effects of Jupiter and also increase the positive effects of Jupiter. The next planet that we're going to be talking about is Saturn. Saturn is considered to be the most important planet in astrology. Saturn controls one's own karmas in the horoscope. Because of why we consider Saturn to be the most influential and important planet in astrology. Because all of the placements, all of the good and bad effects of planets are all ruled by karma. And because Saturn is an indicator of our own karma, it is considered to have a major impact on our horoscope and how we get the good and bad effects from the horoscope and the planets. So Saturn is a very slow moving planet. It takes around 2.5 years to move from one sign to another. And overall, it takes around 29 years to 30 years to complete the entire zodiac cycle. Because Saturn is so slow, the effects of Saturn are also considered to be slow and steady. So, anytime Saturn is sitting in a certain house, or aspecting a certain house, or looking at a certain planet, or conjuncting with a certain planet, it usually brings about a certain level of slowness to that functionality of that planet or the house. So, Saturn also brings about stability to whatever house it sits in or the planet it associates with. Because Saturn is such a slow moving planet, it gives effects towards the later end of the life. So, if Saturn is placed very positively, what happens is it makes the person work very hard so they can reap the benefits in the later part of their life. Saturn in a natural horoscope controls the 10th and the 11th house. 10th house is the house of the career, and because of this, Saturn is also a natural indicator of our career. So, having a strong Saturn also indicates someone who's going to have a very good career or someone who's going to have an ability to work very hard to in whatever career field they are in. So, Saturn, whenever it's transiting, towards the 12th, 1st, and 2nd house of the moon, it is said to be called as Sadisati. This is a very prominent event that is being looked at from astrological point of view. The moon rules the mind of a person, and whenever Saturn is transiting in the 12th, first and second house from moon, usually it brings about a lot of distress to the mind. So this specific period, which is considered to be, Sade Sati, is very keenly watched in astrological society. So a lot of people fear this Sade Sati because they tend to think that this would bring about a lot of negative effects. But the reality is, Saturn actually, when it's transiting in 12, 1 and second signs from the moon, actually makes you very, brings about events which makes you do things on your own, which makes you independent. So people who are actually able to cope up with this level of stress and who are able to work independently and who are able to put up the stress, put up the work that is needed to overcome this. So Saturn is a planet that governs hard work. So people, whenever they get their Saturn period, are always put under a situation where things are not easily given to them. So you have to do a lot of hard work to achieve those things. So if you do the necessary hard works, usually Saturn rewards you abundantly. There is no planet that rewards you better than Saturn than any other planet in astrology. So the only thing that you need to do is work hard during the Saturn period and be able to sustain during the difficult times and get the reward from Saturn. So the color ruled by Saturn is a color black, and the day associated with Saturn is Saturday. So if Saturn is positively placed in your horoscope, you can wear a lot of black color, you can wear black clothing, or you can even wear blue sapphire. One simple remedy that everybody can follow to appease Saturn and get the beneficial effects from him is to recite Hanuman Chalisa. Hanuman has a very close association with Saturn and is said to benefit anybody who are suffering from Saturn's clutches, or going through a very tough Sati period. Reciting Hanuman Chalisa will be very very beneficial for them. You can also do fasting during Saturdays. You can visit a Shani Mandir or any even Shiva temple and then offer some till oil lamps to the planet Saturn on Saturday. So all of this will remediate some of the negative effects that we are having because of the planet Saturn. So the next planet that we are going to be talking about is a planet Venus. So the planet Venus is called as a planet of luxury. So Anytime a person has a very strong Venus in their horoscope, we can be sure that the person is going to get a lot of luxuries in their lifetime. So either they are born in a very wealthy family, or later in their life they will be in a position to have all the luxuries in their lifetime. So Venus also is an indicator, as I mentioned, for wealth. So the deity associated with Venus is goddess Lakshmi, who is the goddess of wealth. So praying to goddess Lakshmi will actually help us get the blessings of Venus. So Venus controls the marital life for both men and women. For men, it indicates the type of wife that they would be getting. And for women, it actually shows the type of life partner that they would prefer. So Venus should be very strong for somebody to have a very good marital life. Anytime the Venus is afflicted or debilitated, there can be some indications of some hindrances in their married life, or there can be some abruptions in their married life that is happening. Some simple remedies that could be followed to mitigate any negative effects from Venus is to simply chant the Venus mantra every Friday, and also to pray to Goddess Lakshmi every Friday to appease the planet Venus and get all the beneficial effects from the planet Venus. So let's move on and talk about the nodal planets or the shadow planets, Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu are believed to be part of the same entity called as Swarbhanu, who was a demonic snake. So in the ancient time, this specific snake was cut into two, and the head became Rahu and the tail became Ketu. So Rahu and Ketu, although they are part of the same entity, they have different significances associated with each one of them. So let's talk about Rahu first. So Rahu is considered to be the head of the entity Swarbhanu, and so Rahu is considered to be a very obsessive and materialistic planet. So Rahu indicates anything that we haven't achieved in the past life, and we are here in this lifetime to achieve. So usually, whichever sign or whichever planet Rahu is associated with, we are going to be obsessive with in this lifetime, and we are going to get a lot of those things in this lifetime. So because Rahu is a negative planet, the way that we would be getting these elements into our life might have some elements of negativity to it. So Rahu is also a very a shrewd or a cunning planet, as we can say. So sometimes when Rahu is sitting in Upachya houses, it can actually be very beneficial for the person. So when Rahu is sitting in 3, 6 and 11, it is said to bring in a lot of. So similar to Jupiter, Rahu is also considered to be an expansive planet. But unlike Jupiter, Jupiter expands in a very positive way, but Rahu almost like explodes. So whichever house it sits in, or whichever planet it is associated with, it pretty much explodes the functionalities of those planets or those signs or houses. So um, in certain houses, it actually does very well. For example, when Rahu is sitting in the third house, it actually gives a lot of courage to that person. So this is also considered as a Raj Yoga, because Rahu is sitting in a Upachya house and it grows beneficial over time. And similarly, when Rahu is sitting in the 10th house is a house of success and fame. So it explodes success and fame for that person. So people who have Rahu in 10th house are usually very successful in their careers. So in certain houses, having Rahu will actually be very beneficial for them. Sometimes it could be slightly negative. Say, for example, if Rahu is sitting in seventh house, so that could lead to multiple relationships in your lifetime. So this is not considered to be like a positive thing. Rahu also indicates any foreign elements or foreign person in our lifetime. So Rahu is all about taboo breaking. When Saturn is all about setting the boundaries and practicing what the rules are, Rahu is all about breaking the rules. So wherever Rahu is sitting, you would be breaking the rules related to that house or the planet. Say for example, when Rahu is sitting with Venus, this is considered to be an excellent placement for fame, but it is considered to be a detrimental sign for your relationship. So what it might happen is you might tend to be in multiple relationships. You might be dissatisfied with your partner and end up being in multiple relationships because of this. You also might have a partner who's from a completely different religion or completely different background from yours. So whenever we are having a lot of malefic effects from the planet Rahu, what we can do is we can do simple remedies, do like mantra chanting or doing some puja offerings during certain times would help us alleviate the negative effects of Rahu. One very simple remedy that you could do is praying to Goddess Durga during Rahu Kal. So Goddess Durga is considered to be the deity that is associated with the planet Rahu. So in every day we have 1.5 hours associated with Rahu. So when we pray to Goddess Durga, specifically during this Rahu Kal period, we would get a lot of beneficial effects from the planet Rahu. Especially when somebody is going through their Rahu Dasha, it is always advised for them to do this puja so that they could negate any bad influences that they are having from Rahu and increase the positive influences that they are having from the planet Rahu. So lastly, the planet that we are going to be discussing about is called Ketu. Ketu is the tail of the snake Swarvanu. So Rahu and Ketu, as I mentioned before, they are part of the same entity, but they are cut into two, and Rahu becomes the head and Ketu becomes the tail, and they have their own significances. So as I mentioned, Rahu is all about obsession. Ketu is all about detachment. So Ketu is said to be all aspects of life that we have already experienced in the past life. So, whenever Ketu is sitting in a certain sign, the functionalities of those signs are said to be experienced abundantly in our past lives. So, in this lifetime, there will be a certain level of detachment towards these functionalities. Also, when Ketu is associated with any planet, we will have a similar effect. Like, the functionalities of those planets, we might feel a little bit detached from it. For example, when Ketu is sitting with Venus, people might be dissatisfied or detached from their wife. Or when Ketu is sitting with Moon, there might be some dissatisfaction or separation from their mother. So these are some of the effects of Ketu. Ketu in astrology is also said to be the Karaka of Moksha or the Karaka of Jnana, meaning this is a planet of wisdom. So, whenever a person has Ketu in a very spiritual house, like the ninth house or the 12th house, these people will have an elevated level of spirituality or awareness in them. So, these people will be very wise and they will not be very materialistic as a Rahu person would be to be one of the toughest dashas in astrology. So, Ketu Dasha is considered to be tough mainly because during this time period, the person will become spiritual in nature. So, the way they become spiritual is Ketu gives them a lot of difficulties and hardships in their lifetime, and it will make them realize that not the material things are important in life, but the wisdom and spirituality is all that is important in life that they should be caring about. Of Ketu Dasha period, one of a very simple remedy that they could follow is pray to Lord Ganesha. So, praying to Lord Ganesha on an everyday basis would help us alleviate any ill effects that we are facing. We can also chant the Ketu Beach mantra on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and that will also help us alleviate any issues that we are facing with Ketu Dasha or the planet Ketu. So, alright, guys, so these are the 9 planets that are critical in Vedic astrology, and these are the significances of each of the planet that would be impacting our lives and our horoscopes. So, I hope this information was useful for you guys and you found this video very informative. So, please do leave me any comments in the comment section and subscribe to my channel if you like this video. Please do reach out to my email ID if you want to have a consultation with me, and if you have any questions, also please let me know. Thank you and have a good day.